guys, I had to come up and peek at these guys, so I thought I'd do a really quick video. I know I promised multiple times to show my grow lights and setup. This is one of my tents, and since I had to come up here, I figured we'll take a peek. And I haven't been up here in a few weeks, so we shall see what we've got going on here. Unzip this side. I am going to, trying to see how's going to be the best way to, yeah, I think without the lights is probably going to show up a lot better. With the red and blue lights, it just kind of makes everything look purple. I will do a review on my actual grow lights. I have multiple different LED bulbs in this tent. These are some ultra thin LED lights, and this rack is closer together. I just cleaned it off last week. Several of the plants were just getting too much light, which is a great sign this early in the winter that these are great, because these ultra thin ones are new for me this year. I was to say I was less than impressed with these is very accurate. I ordered, I'm trying to think where these were. Never mind. I will do another video telling you about the grow lights, and I will look up what I did and where I ordered them from, so that you guys can have the brands on all of them. But for right this minute, this top shelf, let me back up here. This top shelf is a little farther apart than the middle shelf. Has grow lights a lot closer to the rack. And then we have a little space for wiring, and then we have a nice big space down here where I usually put taller plants. Right now, I've put plants that are just needing a little bit less light. Some of them were burning, and so I put a lot of the short ones down on the bottom for now. And if you see something moving under there, it's my little kitty. She loves to come and explore if I will let her. All right. What I came up here to get was my starts. These guys, let's pull these down. These guys were getting a little too much light, so I moved them to a corner. And it looks like they're starting to adulate just a little bit. They're not stretching bad, just a little bit, so I'm going to move them back under a little more direct light, but they're getting the beautiful pink color. So they're fine. I'm not sure what type of echeveria these are, honestly. I am not super up on all of the echeverias. They're not my thing. I love the way they look. I mean, love. But I like the weirder, longer ones a little bit more. This guy is toast, which is fine. This was the bottom of a plant that I beheaded and is in a start tray over somewhere else. And sometimes the stem that is left will sprout off babies. Sometimes you can even cut the stem in a couple places and poke it back down in, and babies will sprout off. I'll show you one like that. This guy is another beheaded plant, and I'll probably end up popping these leaves off and seeing if any of them will propagate. This is a Pachiveria of some variety, I believe. I want to say Little Jewel, but I'm not positive. And it got stretched out while I wasn't paying attention, and not a problem. They do that. So I cut it off, and it's over in a different tray. But I always save the bottom stem, and usually a few leaves if I can, in hopes that they'll make babies. And I don't have my macro lens on, so I can't get too close, but you can see it's popping off babies, which is always fun. Let's see, what else is up here? There's some aloe, you can see. Another aloe. Not remembering what that one is. These are some of the plants that I more use to make arrangements with and different things, so they're a little less, I'm a little less up on, or a little less familiar with every single tiny pot and remembering what I put in it, because most of these are starts off of other plants. All right, most of these are aloes of some variety or another. There's a gasteria back here. It's kind of dark, and I apologize. And this guy doesn't need to be under the grow light at all. Look how purple he is. I'm gonna actually pull him out. He's getting way too much sun. Here's another group of stems. I'll pull this one down. These are the bottoms of my California sunset. I showed in a different video that was etiolating out of a glass globe, and I said I always just chop them off and reroot them and then put a compact one in. And this is part of my little compact hoard, and I just take cuttings off of here whenever I want. And I beheaded all of these, and let me pull the pot that those went in out here. And all of the tops went into here. These got, as you can see, they're stretching a bit, but they're starting to color up nicely. They look like that they were colored and they're uncoloring, but they're actually getting their coloring back. But I am going to move them down under, it seems like these grow lights are a lot stronger, and so I am going to move them under them because I want them to keep their color all winter long, so that whenever I want to take a little snip, I can. And so when I go to put these in a glass globe, I'll just take a snip off of this and stick the stem right in, and then these stems will make babies just like this. So it's just kind of the circle of propagation with these guys, which is fun. This guy here, I believe, is an aloe achelata. It's labeled, yeah, it's labeled as a furrow. It's not right. They're really rare, and there's just no way. They do look similar. Let me pull them out in the light here. They do look a little bit similar, but the actual aloe furrow have more black round dots around their spike, and it looks a lot more like they're polka dotted, even though I know this does too. But this was incorrectly labeled. I am 100% positive. These guys I haven't even ever moved out of their pots. I've had them for a year or so and just been too sick to to care. So I also sell plants online when I'm feeling well. I used to sell mostly locally, but I don't really do that as much anymore, and at least not right now. And so some of these are left over. I was selling a lot this spring and shipping a lot, and then had a bad crash physically, and so a lot of these are kind of leftover babies that I just threw in here going, oops, well, those didn't sell. Alrighty, down here, this is kind of a mess right now, but what it was, and I'm sorry you guys, I can't tell if this is just way too dark. I'm sorry, I know this is dark, but I am having, let me open this a tiny bit more and see if we can get any. Ah, that helps a little bit. I had ordered a box of cuttings, just random cuttings. I don't know how many, 50 cuttings, I think. Maybe it was 100. Around Mother's Day, and we ended up having fit after fit after fit. The postmaster didn't pick them up, and she went on vacation, and she left them there on her doorstep for him to get, and he just left them there for the whole week and didn't send them to me. So then she had to send another box, and then there was I don't remember if it was shipping damage or what happened, and I think there ended up being a third package sent, and by the time I got them, it was, I think, July, and I was not doing well, and so they all got just jammed into these little drawers, kind of grouped by color. These are obviously not grouped by variety. These were the darker reds and the ones that colored more in the sun. These guys were more blue and lighter colors, and then this, you can see it's a big round pot here, was just whatever the heck was left that I jammed into this pot. And considering the severe neglect of these guys for since July, which it is now the middle of November, they look pretty great, but they definitely need to be pulled out, and the dead leaves, you know, pulled off, and I'll probably end up beheading them, but some of these may go in the pots, in a little bit deeper pots together. Like I may put these guys together, and then I can just bury their stems up to here and not have to cut them off. But all of these were destined for arrangements as gifts, and that didn't happen this summer as I intended, and so they have just kind of had to live in my collection and hope for the best for the most part. This was another type of echeveria, and it doesn't look anything like it should. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I beheaded it, and that is over in a different pot. And then what has grown out since then has been an entirely different color. It's this weird lime green. I mean, it's fantastic, and it's got a pink kind of hue. But before, it was more of this type of a color. And so that's a little puzzling, but I'm delighted that it's sprouting out all manner of babies from this one. Let's see, we got a euphorbia here. This guy was another beheaded plant that I wasn't sure if the stem would come to life or not, but I left a couple leaves, and then these ones were kind of sad already when I beheaded the plant, but I didn't pull them all off. But as you can see, it is popping out several little babies. So I withhold water for a little while after I behead them if there's not leaves to help evaporate and transpire the water, but then water kind of normally once it starts sprouting out, or whenever dry, for most echeveria. I have an aloe back here which absolutely does not need to be under the grow light. I don't think you can see, it's too dark, but it's got this brownish color, and it just means it's getting too much sun and not enough water. But my very sweet husband pulled all of these out from sure death when we had a frost a couple months ago. We had a real early frost in the early September, at least it was early for us here. And he pulled all of these in for me, which he is a doll and loves my plants and does everything he can to help me be able to enjoy them even when I'm very sick. So this guy definitely doesn't need to be under the grow light, and I'm going to pull him out and poke him down in my living room where he usually lives and is happy, but he was outside for the summer. And I'll water him more and he will plump up and green up. This here is, sorry, I'll move this one. I think this is like a mother of millions or thousands or whatever plant, if I'm not mistaken. Someone sent me a couple stems and I poked them in here. It's looking kind of sad, but this I believe is a aloe humilis. It should have a tag somewhere, but I believe that's what it is. It's a cluster. This guy was in one of the unboxing videos that I did. I got asked to make some follow-up videos on a couple unboxing videos I did, and I am absolutely going to do that. I just have to get all of them into the same area. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot. Well, I have quite a few still, but a lot of them I don't still have because I make arrangements or give them away, or I sell a lot, or different things. So they kind of come and go. But the ones that I do have, I will absolutely do a update on. This pot here has had a hard life, and I'm not positive. I just looked up the name of this morning again to double check that I was right, and it's spacing me again, and this almost looks like, I'm gonna have to look. This pot was a pot that was shipped to me this spring, I believe, and it had a lot of shipping damage, and it was just in a terrible way, and I didn't expect any of them to survive. It was not the seller's fault, and they did everything, you know, they fixed it. I don't remember what happened, but it wasn't their fault, and so I just said don't worry about it. But I did not expect them to live, and I poked all of them in the same. I mean, this guy here is a Messim. I want to say that's I don't even know. This is an aloe. No idea what this is. Like some mini, and this guy looks like he's got some mealybugs on him, so I'm going to have to take care of that. But I didn't expect any of them to survive, and they're in a glass pot that I literally just jammed them into. It has no drainage. And they've had lots of water sometime, and then hardly any for months. And yeah, I don't even know. I'm surprised that they are looking as good as they are. All right, the last little, oh, he's a little split rock here. He's all on his lonesome. Wowee. This guy here. I'm not sure where he has been for the last year. I don't think I've cared for him. That's sad. But anyways, he might have had brothers at one point, or they might be somewhere else. But this guy, I believe, was one of the red ones. Oh, what are they called? Ruby something. But he's, I'm not sure why he's this color. The center is nice and firm. Usually it's if they're not getting enough light that they turn back green. But this guy on the outer leaves here looked like he had too much direct light for a while anyway. So maybe he's recovering, and maybe he just hasn't had enough recently, because he was on the bottom shelf here with a little bit more distance than I usually have with grow lights on my Messemes, if they're happy anyways. But I have some more that I will probably lump him in with. I might only have one others. Split rocks really aren't my... I don't know why I like conophytum and lithops just so much more. But for whatever reason, they just appeal to me. And it's not that I don't like split rocks. They're amazing. They're just not... You know, they kind of come and go with me. You know, I have one or I don't, you know, and if someone came by and loved it, I would be like, sure, you can have it. You know, they're not my loves, like my lithops and my conophytum especially. I just, you know each by name. Not quite, but you know what I mean. Name them all and have a lot of fun with them. But, yeah, I think I actually had a video request on split rocks. And I'm not sure that I will actually be able to do one for you guys. I mean, I can spout off information, you know, general information about them in a video if you want that. But I don't have a lot of experience personally with them. I've had, you know, a dozen or two over the last few years, off and on, but never like got into a great cycle with them where I just feel like, yep, this works and I feel comfortable. It's just kind of, I don't know, they're happy or they're not. And I end up just always ignoring them and not keeping track of things like I do with my lithops and conophytum, so I can pass it on. But I can do a general video on them. I just don't have a lot of personal experience, and usually I like to have actual experience with the plants as much as possible when I do these videos. Alrighty, you guys, this video is long as per usual, and I will do another video with grow lights and brands and things like that. I was hoping to wait until after this winter, but maybe I'll just do a follow-up at the end of winter, because I have quite a few new ones, and so it's difficult for me to tell how they're going to do. But so far, nothing is etiolating beyond, you know, what would be expected for how far the lights are away at certain times, and most everything that was stretched out before it went in here. So far so good with these guys. Alrighty, the kitty's gonna get the bugs, and I'm gonna let you guys go. Have a fantastic day and happy growing.